D-line, homie, get your hands up. Wanna know who the best? Yes, we the answer. Number one ranking, top of the food chain. Better fall back, boy, we hotter than a blue flame. It's your boy O, flow straight psycho. You don't want a problem.
Welcome to the D-Line Show. I'm your host, Black Ice, and he is
the Body Snatcher.
And together we are D-Line,
baby.
Your ECWA Tag Team Champions. And today we're joined by the one and only Chris Wylde. Chris?
Thank you guys for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming.
A lot of people don't know, we've known each other for years, a long time.
Long time, man.
I'm happy to be on the D-Line Show.
Oh, man, we're happy to have you on. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
No problem.
First of all, Chris, I just want to get a little background about you. What made you want to get into this business?
Okay. Well, I grew up in a single household. My dad wasn't around that much, so like a lot of guys in our business, you try to look to role models.
Right.
Some guys have football players, baseball players. For me, I turn on the TV, I see guys like the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and that was my male role model. Mm-hmm. So, growing up, I always wanted to become a professional wrestler, and it was like me wanting to be Superman to people. They're like, oh yeah, whatever. Right. Why don't you be a policeman or something like that? Right. Man, it was,
firefighter.
Yeah, and I just didn't give up, man. Just, kept it going, and that was always my dream. And here we are now, standing up to ECWA Tag Team Champions. So it's been a good ride. It's been a real good ride.
Right. So when you first started out, who did you train with? Who trained you?
I trained with a guy named Jeff Rocker.
Okay.
He was actually in the original ECWA. He was trained by Simon Diamond. And how that came about was, I live in Dover, Delaware. Back in the day, CZW used to run their hardcore shows across the street at a bar. I worked at a restaurant at the time. The guys at the restaurant wanted to have a wrestling show at their place. They got a hold of Jeff. Jeff started up the company. He saw me. All I wanted to do was just be a part of it. I said, you have me ringing the bell.
And listen, I'd do anything.
I'll do whatever I got to do.
Right.
After I took that first bump,
fell in love with
there it is.
Yeah,
and he basically taught me the basics. Went to Germany for a little bit. Trained under a guy named Denny Steger.
Wow.
And then just picked up stuff, as I went around. Did some Tom Pritchard seminars, some stuff with Jake the Snake.
Nice.
Just as you guys know, man, it's on the job training. You never stop. You never stop learning.
Never.
Like tonight we got a show.
Yeah.
Luck of the draw.
That's right.
If my name's picked last, I can face you guys. That'll be a learning experience
That'll
there.
be an honor,
so,
man.
the training never stops, man, But Jeff was a guy that got it rolling, man. He still to this day, he lives in Florida, so he's telling me to keep pushing.
Right.
Because obviously my size is always an issue. It's a big man's business.
Yeah.
As of late, it's turned a little bit.
Yeah.
But coming in, man, you see a guy that's 5'7",
Yeah.
195 pounds. You got to kind of have something special there. So
Right.
One thing about you, man, you have a heart of a lion. You push, you drive, you fight.
And the skills that go with it.
And the skills that go with it. So your dedication and your love for this business really is second to none, man. Just to let you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Man, being in ECWA, you've been in for a while.
Yeah.
You've basically done it all. What's next for you? What is your next goal?
My goal,
Here in ECWA.
just living in Delaware. This is the place to be, right?
That's where we
This is
started.
always the place to be.
That's
ECWA was the spot you saw in the magazines.
Absolutely.
I didn't know. I knew WWF. I knew WCW. USWA I saw a couple times, but I never knew any other indie company.
Right.
You open the magazine, you see ECWA.
That's right.
And that was always like the goal, just to be here. Just to step in the ring was always the goal. And then, again, being a smaller guy, watching guys like AJ Styles, Frankie Kazarian, Daniel Bryan, Low Key, they all came from here.
That's
in
right.
that Super 8 tournament.
That's
Now, I've been in 2, but my goal will be, even if I get signed by WWE tomorrow, one of my goals is always to win a Super 8 tournament, man, and that's something I haven't done. Got to the semifinals in 2010. Got taken out of the first round last year. But, that's a goal of mine. Also to become the ECWA Heavyweight Champion. That's another goal. You got to shoot high.
You have to.
You have to.
And there's no other reason to be in the world of wrestling if you're not shooting to be the champion where you are. So, what I want to ask you is that with you being your size, how does that work when you face someone my size? Do you go into it a different way, or how do you look at a match like that where it's different in size and everything?
Honestly, that's That's a good question, man. And it's one of my favorite things to do is to get in the ring with somebody that might be a little bit bigger, might be a little bit more of a challenge. A couple months ago, I worked out too. You guys have been in the ring with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's as big as they come.
He can bring it.
But it's a different strategy there, you know. Like I use my quickness. And so going in, I look at that. I look at how quick I can be, how I can slow the other guy down, his strengths, what he does. You know, Shawn Michaels was the guy I watched growing up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he was always in the ring with the bigger guy. You know, whether it was Sid, Nash, he was, even when they were tag teams and he was going up against the Twin Towers, man,
That's right.
he was always against bigger guys. But it made it work for him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love to, thank you.
How you doing, buddy?
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I love to get ring with the bigger guy, man, and just see what I can do. You know, it's very different than going move for move and the fast Super 8 style that we used to. So.
Right. Yeah.
Well, once again, man, we appreciate you taking the time to come on our show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we wish you nothing but the best
Thank
in
you,
the future.
bro.
And just before we come off, man, it's great to see you guys in ECWA.
Thanks,
You know,
man.
We were back in,
Yeah.
we were wrestling in Smyrna, Delaware. We first started, 7 people in the crowd.
That's true.
Nobody paying attention, nobody caring.
People
You
talking
know.
while we wrestling.
Oh man, more workers in the crowd than fans.
That's true.
So you know, it's great to see you guys here. I've always been a big supporter of D-Line. You guys are the real deal. And
Same here with you, bro.
we just keep doing what we're doing. And hopefully we be standing somewhere bigger one day.
Thanks,
Having
man.
the same conversation
That
with
means
a
a
little
lot.
bit bigger
Yeah.
camera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. The one and only Chris Wylde.